Alright, today is September the 14th, 2015, and we are looking at the color infrared loop for the Northeast Pacific. Today in Los Angeles we had overcast and cloudy skies all day, very high humidity. As of 8:30 tonight, the humidity is 72.3% in the LA foothill area, and the temperature is around 74 degrees. We've got a dew point of 63 degrees. Alright, so it's very muggy, very humid. And the barometric pressure has been dropping the last 3 days, actually the last 4 days. We're seeing a pressure drop, and that is because of some weather moving in from up here. Okay, and we've got rain forecast for tomorrow, and we're kind of keeping an eye on the weather, television weather, to see what they're going to say tonight. All right, so let's go ahead and look at the water vapor loop right now and see what's going on. We have this spinning low pressure up here that was designated a storm a couple of days ago, and we can see that the transmitters they've had on this system have diminished it. There's a lot of heat that's been spun into this core to weaken that storm, and we see that happening. The core is no longer organized, a lot of disorganization. However, it is still spinning as a counterclockwise low. And so what's happening here is a result of heat being applied up in this area. We've got a clockwise flow that's splitting off and moving towards the west coast. Now, in this moisture field right here, we can see chemical aerosols being laid out, chemtrails, okay? And we can go and take a quick look at that right now in the SSEC satellite image here. This is a close-up of that moisture flow right here that's coming down and across over to the U.S. And all through here, if we look carefully, we can see chemtrails being sprayed right here in this area, and then through here diagonally, they're running them in a pattern diagonal to the flow, and up right in this area right here where the turn is, we're seeing that chemtrails up there too. And also up in this area, it looks like they're spraying right up in here. So U.S. planes are up there spraying these skies to diminish the chances of rain for California. And the proof is right through here. We can see all the spraying going on, chemical spraying. All right, let's go back and look at the water vapor map again. We've got a spinning low down here. This is just the remnants of something. They're keeping heat on that right there to prevent it from spooling up. There's a lot of thunderstorms down here. There is a disturbance identified right here that is forecast. Well, it has a 10% chance of hurricane formation in 2 days. So there's really nothing too important about what's happening down here, other than there may be a hurricane generated here in the next several days. So we'll keep an eye on that right here. We have a new flow out of the Gulf of Alaska. We can see that, and that's mushrooming into a division that they've set up here with a transmitter, and that's going to separate this flow from getting mixed up with this flow here, which is moving towards the west coast. So this is set up to keep these two flows separate, and we can see what's happening as this continues to move south. This side here is being affected by all of the flow from this field moving south. All right. Okay, so that's pretty much it. Let's go ahead and take a look at some of these other maps. This is the southwest water vapor loop. Now we can see in this view right here, this is the infrared loop. Earlier today there was a blast that took place, and we can see the remnants of that happening right here. There was a blast that covered a large area right up here, and all these little storms right here are blown to the east at a very high velocity. So take a look at that. That's interesting. If you look at this in the close-up, you can't see it in the water vapor map for the southwest, but if we move to the rainbow loop, the infrared loop for the same map, we can see this blast very clearly. It's right about in here is the center point. And I'm not sure, I've never seen this happen before like this. In other words, usually there's a large thunderstorm cell when they blast something this large right here, but we don't see that here. And so maybe this was some sort of preventative measure to prevent any thunderstorms from, rather any large thunderstorms from developing in this area in California. We can see that that blast actually affected the southeastern corner of the state. This blast pattern, it affected these storms here, and all of them right along here, and down right about halfway down Baja California, we see that the pressure wave from that blast has affected all this weather all the way up around and right into Southern California. So there was a strategy to this this event here, and it may be to prevent any thunderstorms of any significance from generating in this area. So we'll keep an eye on that. But this does not show up very well in the water vapor map, but it does show up very good in the visible light map, and that's right here. We can see it, all these storms right here, especially up in here. We can see a ring kind of right there. There's a blast ring right up in here. There appears to be a series of them, or one large one. I can't really tell if this was one large blast or a series of smaller ones. We do see a sort of a circular pattern right here, right there. Yeah, that must be a separate blast right there where the pen is, right there. Okay, so that is a separate blast. Actually, it looks like there's two of them now. 1, 2, yeah, 1, 2. There's two of them right there, and then we've got a big one down here, or a series of small ones. It's hard to tell. Let's go back and look at this again. Yeah, but this is the evidence here. All of this stuff is moving. All these storms are moving to the east at a very high velocity. And but this is the fingerprint right here. We can see exactly what happened. Right there and right there. There's two separate blasts right there in Eastern California. And so this is this is part of the strategy of keeping the rain out of California. We've got a forecast for rain, but obviously these activities here are preventing rain. And we've seen that over and over demonstrated the last almost 3 months since I've been making these videos, but others on the internet have been doing this and with good success. All right, here's Alaska, and we see there is a counterclockwise spinning low up here. Well, let's look at that here, right here. There is something here that's trying to spin counterclockwise. All right, as it moves to the south, this flow is generally moving to the southeast. All right, and looking back at the big map once again to get our bearings. Up here, here's Alaska. We see this entire flow is moving down towards the west coast. And so looking at this again, they put a HAARP transmitter on this area to deal with that counterclockwise spinning low, which could form into a large storm. So that's one reason they put a transmitter there. And that's what this is, this dry area right here. All right. Okay, so that's pretty much it. See that blast again right here. That's a very large area that's being covered by that. All these storms right from about the midpoint of Baja north are affected by that blast. And look at how they just They move east and then they just disappear off the map from that intense heat. Okay. All right, so and then we have the pressure maps. This is the sea level pressure. Only half of that map is showing here, indicating a high here. And can't really make out the rest of it too well. But that is the sea level pressure map, and they've got that high there. That's been there for a long time, you know, probably about a month. It moves around, but generally speaking, there's always a high out here. Okay, let's look at the 300 millibar chart. And this here is a low down here, I'm pretty sure. Maybe not, maybe that's, I can't tell. Yeah, this could be a high. I think that's a high looking at these numbers. Yeah, that's high pressure indicated there. Okay, so we're missing half the chart here. That's the information is missing off of there. All right, and then once again we have the geostationary satellite showing these chemtrails, which will affect our weather over here in California. So it would be nice to get rain, but when you've got people spraying the skies and you've got HAARP transmitters blowing these little storms apart, it's just not going to happen. We're not going to get rain unless this stuff changes. Here is the, there's a low spinning down here. I don't know if we can see that too well. This is off of Baja's over here. We got this low that's been hit with a transmitter. They're keeping heat on that so it doesn't form into a hurricane. All right. So that's pretty much it. And we got Hawaii over here. I don't know if we can see that. Let's get over here. There's Hawaii. And we got some thunderstorms moving into that area. But we have a high pressure right here that's going to be moving over Hawaii here any day now. That will protect it from this incoming front here, this weather that's being generated from this low pressure here. This is all dropping down, and this will be closing in on Hawaii. But there is a high right here, it looks like. So we will keep an eye on all of this weather, and we'll do an update tomorrow. Okay.